No contact. It's not just a strategy. It's psychological warfare. And right now, you're wondering if she's even thinking about you or if she's already moved on. But let me ask you something real. Have you ever walked out of a room hoping someone would chase after you and they didn't? That silence, that stillness, that heavy ache in your chest. That's not weakness. It's power waiting to be directed. The truth is, most men break no contact because they can't handle discomfort. They reach out, they explain, they beg, and in doing so, they lose something far more valuable than her attention. They lose her respect. So today, I'm not telling you to wait. I'm showing you how to turn no contact into a magnetic force so strong she has no choice but to feel. If you're done chasing and ready to become the one who draws everything in, comment the word magnet and listen closely. Step 1. You detach emotionally, but level up relentlessly. No contact is not about sitting by the phone. It's not about hoping she reaches out. It's about redirecting your energy into becoming a version of yourself that even she wouldn't recognize. You go cold, not because you're heartless, but because you finally understand your worth. Women don't chase men who disappear and stay the same. They chase men who vanish and evolve. So you disappear, then you glow up. Hit the gym, not just for the body, but for discipline. Elevate your finances, not to impress, but to dominate your own lane. Develop stoic focus, not to become numb, but to become sharp. While you're doing this, she's checking quietly, through mutual friends, through social media, watching you from a distance. But here's the catch. If you look like the same guy who was always too available, too emotional, too reactive, she forgets you, like a dream that fades by morning. But if she sees something different, a version of you she hasn't met before, that's when the regret begins. That's when curiosity becomes obsession. Step 2. Let her sit in the silence. It screams louder than anything you could ever say. Most men rush this part. They panic when she doesn't reach out after a few days. But women don't react like that. They process emotionally, slowly. Silence is your weapon, and here's why. The human brain assigns meaning to absence. When someone disappears, we fill in the blanks. And if she sees your name on her screen but never gets a message, if days become weeks and there's nothing from you, that silence becomes deafening. Her thoughts spiral. Why hasn't he called? Did I mean nothing? Is there someone else? The ego hates unanswered questions, especially the ego of someone who's used to being chased. She may not remember every argument, every flaw, every reason things ended, but she will remember the silence. And in that silence, she rewrites the story. That's how memory works. But if you break it too soon, if you send that weak hey, you kill the momentum. Predictability is attraction's enemy. Don't just give her silence. Let her feel the void. Step 3. Reappear, but never chase. Once the silence has done its job, you don't message. You don't ask how she's doing. You haunt. A subtle story post. A photo that says, "I'm thriving," without needing her to know why. No captions that scream for attention, just presence. Effortless, undeniable presence. And when she finally sends that, "Hey stranger," you don't jump. You don't celebrate. You wait. Then you respond with calm, with control, with clarity. Been focused. One word, that's all. Let her lean in. Let her wonder who this version of you is. Let her try to figure out when the shift happened. Now the roles have flipped. She's chasing your energy, not the other way around. This isn't manipulation. This is emotional gravity. You've become the storm, and when you return, don't return quietly. You don't walk back into her world like someone who's checking in. You show up like a force of nature she didn't expect, a version of you that looks sharper, colder, more in control. You post something real, you with your crew, you in a new environment, you laughing, not to impress, but because You're actually living, and you let that moment speak for you. No explanation, no need to say, "new me." Just a cryptic caption she can't quite decode. Now she's asking herself questions. Who took that photo? Why does he look so different? How did I lose that? Because women don't chase men who disappear. They chase men who disappear and return transformed. Not for attention, but with purpose. And if she messages you again, don't rush, don't fold, let the delay speak. That delay isn't a game. It's proof that you're no longer the same man. You're not hiding, you're not ghosting, you're setting the tone. A high-value man doesn't remind her of what she had. He becomes the man she regrets letting go. Be that man, be the magnet, and let her feel the pull. 5. How you speak changes the chase, from desperate to desired. This is what separates the men she runs from and the men she runs after. Your words, once she reaches out, what you say, and more importantly, how you say it, matters more than ever. And let me tell you something most won't. 90% of men mess this part up. They go soft, they fold. They say things like, "I missed you so much," or "I couldn't stop thinking about you," or even worse, "Why did we even break up?" Boom, she's gone. Why? Because in that moment she knows she still has you fully, completely, without effort. And what's easy to keep never feels worth chasing. But the Stoic man, the high-value man, he flips the entire dynamic. He's polite, calm, slightly distant. He doesn't play hard to get. He is hard to reach. He uses words that speak volumes without ever begging for attention. He says things like, "Hope you're doing well," or "I've been good," just locked in. Or this one, "I've had a lot of clarity lately." That last one, that's a psychological nuke, because now she's wondering, what clarity? Does it involve her? Has he moved on? Is she even part of the equation anymore? These phrases do two critical things. 1, they show zero emotional desperation. 2, they ignite curiosity. You're planting quiet, powerful seeds, and you're pulling her in not with need, but with strength. She starts to lean in because now you are the mystery. And remember this truth. The woman who chases you is the one who feels you slipping through her fingers, without warning, without drama, without explanation. Speak like a man who's walked through the fire and came out colder, sharper, unshaken. A man who has options, who's not desperate for any single outcome. That's when she starts thinking, did I just lose the man he's becoming? And that's when the chase begins. Not because you made her feel guilty, not because you begged for it, but because your growth became undeniable and your presence became rare. If this is hitting deeper than just dating advice, if you're feeling that fire in your chest that says, "I will never be the man who begs again," then you've already begun your transformation. You're no longer just reacting, you're rising. Subscribe right now to the Stoic Guide, where we don't chase we build, we evolve, we attract, and in the comments, drop the phrase "ghost mode." That's our signal. That's the code for men who don't disappear to hide. They disappear to haunt. Let her chase a ghost she can never catch, because when a man masters silence, purpose, and control, he becomes unforgettable.